Alright, I don't know if you watched the video on this Jeep right here, but I put some bunch of stuff under the suspension and it started death wobble. So this is not my death wobble video. That's gonna be pretty legit, but I want to get this in the shop and I think I'm gonna build a model to show you exactly what's going on with this Jeep in particular.
Oh, it looks good. It's gonna drive good.
I mean, you can pretty much keep it in the road, but it just starts death wobbling for no reason. And let me walk out here and show you another Jeep.
All right, so not the exact same Jeep. This one probably sits a little lower, but this one's 36 boggers, no balance. You can see same crossover steering and basically same track bar. But
that Jeep's never tried to death wobble one time at all. Unbalanced tires. Those are brand new tires. But I got one more Jeep I want to show you too.
I know it's dark, but this Jeep right here, same. Let's see. Should be about an 8-inch lift and same crossover steering. But I put a over the axle track bar.
I almost admit that Jeep in there, I would almost say it's boring to drive. You can drive 70 miles an hour down the road, just sit your finger up on there. It don't death wobble, it don't bump steer, nothing. So get this Jeep
in the shop, maybe we can get her cleaned up.
All right, I know this probably ain't gonna be the best tool to show you with what I'm describing, but just take that drag link right there. And I tried an actual angle finder, it didn't work out. But lay your phone. All right, it's hard to do one-handed, but if you lay it on the drag link, give or take about 17, 18, the buttons get in the way. But if you was to draw a straight line from the track bar bolt down to the other track bar bolt, I would definitely say it's about a 25 degree. Yeah, y'all can see. So, before I go build a model, I just wanted to show you that. But first, I'm gonna open the box, see what I got, make sure I got everything I need. First thing, I got this from BK Fabworks. I'll put it in the text. But they go through the trouble of buying that sticker, putting it on there, and I think that's a joke, but it's kind of funny. That just says a lot about a company that they go through the trouble going the extra mile. So, let's open it up and see what we got. They got stickers, you gotta have stickers. All right, looks like a pretty simple installation here. That's the new track bar, and it's got those heims. I got those, and I'll explain why in a second. But that bracket, weld on. It does suck. I just built all them axles, but I wasn't thinking that it was going to be as bad as it was as far as drive wise. So that, and then this one looks of quality. Just should be direct bolt on it. I hope they sell a brace, and that's what I'm gonna say. It actually comes with color printed instructions. That Trail Forge I got, it was nice, but it had only online instructions. I mean, some people don't have access to that. I know right now you do, but just it don't hurt to throw paper ones in there, and if you want to do online too. So that looks pretty simple. Same way there. And then that's what I was gonna say is they sell a brace that goes, I reckon, inside of there, maybe. But this one, it's already got, I think that's Rusty's brace. So hopefully that should tap right in. If not, I'll get one from them. But so yeah, get on the lift and stickers. But I do want to go make the model first, so you know exactly what I'm trying to describe. All right, so this is basically the setup that I'm going to, and I'll show you it first. And that's what, think of the pitman arm as that steering arm, the same way, you know, it is down there. But the steering arm can't move, you know, it's got to sit exactly still, or it'd be feeding back into the steering wheel, making the steering wheel rock. So put you beside the tire right there. They go up and down together. So as the track bar pushes and pulls from left to right, the steering geometry has to match that geometry perfect. Otherwise, it puts feed into the tire. So let me reset that up, and I think this will work pretty good. Wow, this is gonna work absolutely perfect. So think about the Jeep. The track bar originally mounts under the axle, which is fine on factory steering, but we're not on factory steering. We've moved the factory steering on top of the knuckle, got everything straightened out. So check this out. So like I said, think of the pitman arm, you know, that's the same. I didn't change nothing on that. And the track bar mount is basically in the same spot. I just moved it forward. But now, instead of over the axle, like the
steering I'm putting on there, I put it under the axle like the factory. So check this out. Nothing else has changed. Watch the tires. I'm gonna hold the pitman arm still. Look at that. And I know I'm over exaggerating. Let me move the camera. Staring straight on the tire. And like I said, I know it's over exaggerating, but I want you to be able to see what I'm talking about. So just that missed geometry right there, I think, is what's getting my death wobble started, because it's getting feedback from the two mixed up geometry, so it's got to go somewhere. So it's either throw it back to the steering wheel, which resists, so it just throws it to the tires, starts the death wobble. So let's go down there, get to work. I know somebody's gonna comment, yes, we have a lot of RC cars. Those are double stacked, and then all them's mine up until somewhere in this area, and these are all my buddies. And I'll get a full tour on this stuff up here one day. I know that model's kind of over exaggerated, but that gives me hope for that right there, because that's a huge difference. But I'm gonna go ahead and throw some paint on the frame bracket and then the actual track bar, and that one's gotta be welded, so can't weld it, can't paint it yet. I'm supposed to be teaching y'all stuff and I'm forgetting what I'm doing over here. If I haven't taught you before, always undo the track bar when it's on the ground. When it's on the ground resting, it should not have any pressure. I mean, just literally should be able to pull the bolt out, but if it's set up wrong, different story. But as much as that didn't droop there, I don't figure it's got any pressure on it anyway. Not really relevant to this, but I ordered a XJ steering kit for whatever reason. I don't know why. I did a WJ knuckle, maybe that's why, but the heim joints run out. So I've got some extra length heim joints to, that way I can get the steering wheel straight. But that gets to stay. Got to take the track bar off there, that mount, just bolts, bolts, bolts. So yeah. And if you see, the rear tires are off too. I've got some 3/4 inch blocks. I'm trying to get the thing leveled out just right. So yeah, like I was saying, no more droop than this lift kit had right there. That bolt's not even moved. So going to get it out of the way. Went ahead and took the brace off right there. That one can hang out. That brace has got to come off right there. I'll get those with PB as soon as you can, because some of them do break, but those just depends on what your application is on them. On most models, this is just like a well, let me go find one. Those up there is like this. It's a tab with 2 bolts. So if you take these bolts out first, it puts a little bit of pressure on there, and it's just easier to do these first, and then those you can just come on there. Just trust me. All right, so the instructions on this bracket right here, I admit, are a little confusing, but I don't think it's that complicated. It's one thing, it's like if you're doing this kind of work, I wouldn't call yourself a fabricator, but you kind of leave the instructions up to you, if that makes sense. But this bracket's obviously got to sit somewhere right in there. So I think all they're saying is pretty much anything over here doesn't even matter. So got to cut it right there, I know, and then I'm gonna try to get rid of as much as I can. I'm still leaving the sway bar links. I don't know why. I don't have any sway bar links on there at all, and you don't need them on Cherokee unless you drive like an idiot. Yeah, I'm gonna get to cutting stuff. Well, that wasn't too bad. If you ever used a Metabo, that's not the same as just a regular angle grinder. That thing is wicked. Those sparks hurt. But got everything cut off. Like I said, I'm pretty sure this is kind of no sit rules. I just grabbed the bracket. Pretty sure it needs to sit something like that right there. Yeah, that's about where they got it in the picture. So the only thing that sucks is my spring sticks out because of this bracket. So might just have to jump out here and then maybe build something to tie the gap up. But so far not bad for a custom project. One little trick I like doing is stick it up there where you want it to be, and then outline, trace it with like a paint marker, Sharpie, really don't matter. That way when you're grinding, you know if you see any of those marks left, you need to grind more. So right before I weld it, I'll let you see about where you need to grind. And then right here, it's a little bit of gap, but I believe I can bridge the gap with a welder. Like I said, that over there, that's just personal preference, really don't even matter. You can leave it, you can cut it, you can make it look better,
whatever. But that's what I always say. If somebody's getting that close to your Jeep, they're gonna find something to complain about in the first place. So I'm just gonna get the welder and weld that, and then that's gotta cool off. Throw some more paint on that stuff. All right, I did forget to show you one tool, Dynafile, Harbor Freight, all I ever use, works just fine. And I got in there, cleaned up some of that stuff couldn't reach. Still a little bit of paint, so I'm gonna run the inside pass and hopefully some of that'll melt off and give me a good weld. But got it leveled on there, leveled to that bracket with that little mark, so I believe we're ready to weld it. All right, I'm most definitely not a welder, but it's welded across there, inside, down there, backside, right along there, just a little tack. I actually got a full bead right there. So as soon as that's dry, I'll get some more paint on that, and it's pretty simple installation, honestly. Not really relevant to the video, but something I screwed up on is I didn't have no more of that color right there. So you gotta base it with black, and then you come over it with another paint. So went up to my RC Car World, found gloss transparent blue. No idea. So what I did, turn the light on. Kind of hard to tell, but it's actually perfect. I backed it with black and then kind of sprayed it with blue, so it'll get the job done. I was sitting there thinking while that's drying over there what I could be doing. So this bracket, I tried to paint it just straight up black, and I think I didn't clean their anti-rust off there, and it fish-eyed. So I went ahead and took advantage of that and just went and got black hammered. So looks like hammered finish. Looks good. So I'm gonna bolt it on. Heim joints, I'm gonna go ahead and install them. Always anti-seize them. Don't forget that. All right, I try to say this in every video. If it's got any form of indication on anything, like that right there, that means it is the left-handed thread. So let's see where we're at. Oh, the brace, the Rusty's brace, that did actually work. So I ain't gotta buy their brace or whatever. That one should work fine. I honestly probably don't even need it, because this, pretty sure this raised the height back up so I don't have as much leverage. Could be wrong, but got my Heim joint on there. Got it where I think it's gonna be at. So yeah, now all I gotta do is sit it on the ground. No, it sounds weird, but just sit it on the ground like it is, and we'll just line the track bar up and it's good to go. I think that's it. And now I have a free track bar. Oh, that's the one thing I was gonna add. Why I chose them. I was a small company at one time, and I know how much it means to have business when you're trying to start a business. So you can go buy from all these companies that have, you know, millions of dollars in resources and all that, but I'd rather support local, small companies like that. Yep. So now all I gotta do is let it down, but I can't show y'all because these big lifted Jeeps, it's gotta be past there before it'll caught the lock. I think it's past now, but let it down. This thing has like it's got them shocks maxed out. So now, literally, you just, well, I'll show you. Alrighty, so this one I believe for some reason has a bigger Heim that goes up top. Get the bolt right there. Try not to mess up the paint. Oh, so now that this is good stuff, it has left and right-handed thread, so you can see it won't reach. So you just simply start loosening it until the hole lines up, and that's literally it. I'm gonna check how much thread that has right there, because that does look like it's pushed out a little too far. Put the nut where it goes. If the nut won't move, we'll be able to see. That'll work. It could be more. I'm gonna see if that extra long Heim would fit this thing. Alright, so I had this Heim, which is this one right here. I tried to extend the steering, but the hole is the wrong size hole. So we're just gonna run this, should be fine. I don't do nothing crazy with this Jeep in the first place. So now I know about where it needs to be. Just simply put it up there and slide your bolt through. Feel like it should be pretty common sense, but you know. There we go. Now, tighten those up. You can tighten those a heim at any time. A rubber bushing, you have to tighten it when it's settled. So, and then jam nut should be only real advice at this point. Like, I don't know if you can see the heim, but when I tighten it, it's going to try to roll. Let's see. It's going to try to roll this way. So make sure they're both either this way or this way. Make sure they match so they can flex. Otherwise, if you get them like this, as soon as it flexes, it'll loosen one of them up. So I'm going to get the jam nuts tightened, and I got to get my steering wheel straight, and then I think we're going to drive this thing. All right, what I was meaning when you tighten these nuts up, see how the heim's sitting right there? Well, it ain't strong enough. You want it to be touching there, and then also that one up there to be touching the same spot. You want both of them touching this way. If you've got one off and it flexes and gets in a bind, it'll just naturally twist and then loosen themselves up, and you never see it, and they sit there wiggling the threads, and boom, you wreck. I've seen it done before. So make sure to keep them jam nuts tight, and always check them. I forgot about this. If y'all can see the numbers, it's hard to do because there's a button. It's more around 15, 16, 17. Now the track bar, 15. That's a lot closer of a match than we had before. I know that. I think it's ready to drive. Well, I got both the shocks on. Crap. That's a big Cherokee. Definitely looks cleaner. So yeah. I hope this works. I'll make a fool of myself if it don't work. Well, I was going to do all my talking while I was driving down the road, but I had to zoom in. I think there's a humongous boat or something. I don't know. But on the back roads, I still think I got a bent wheel or a bad balance of a tire. Because even at like 35 miles an hour, I don't know how fast exactly, but you can feel the steering wheel just sit there and just trying to. But it ain't even tried to death wobble. I can just feel something. I ain't gonna lie, it's pretty amazing. I mean, it's still a 10-inch lifted Cherokee, but when I got the build done the other day, I drove it to town. I ain't gonna lie, I was scared to death. It just did whatever it felt like it needed to do, but now, I mean, we're essentially doing 70, and just as nice as it could be. Of course, I missed it, but my back road that I live on is completely trashed, but I've hit a huge dip, and you could feel the whole suspension dip down, and I had my hand on the steering wheel, never even moved, so that pretty much canceled out literally all the bump steering. So heck yeah. No steering stabilizers at all. So yeah, support your local small businesses. BK Fab, appreciate them. Really made this Jeep. I've had this Jeep done for like ever, but I ain't ever wanted to drive it because I was terrified. So I actually put some miles on it now. Appreciate y'all watching. Have a good day.